up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 67 of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2022. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, of course, our own honorary third host from Rick Barth and the Line. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is on the show.
Mickey!
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew, he's one half of the creative genius behind RetroFiend Radio, makers of the finest canon and martial arts documentaries on the internet. Dustin Nino's on the show.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for having me back.
Nino.
Thank you so much for coming back on, guys. We were
Always.
here today to do Captain Freedom's workout, but Buzzsaw had to split, and we're all out of reruns of Gilligan's Island.
Ho!
We could have been basking under the Maui sun, but instead we're here today for you because this world needs Running Man 2, Climbing for Dollars. But before we can offer a chance to win the VCR Redux home game, we need to talk about how the Running Man came into our lives and what we love about it. And that goes for everyone watching in the live chat as well. How did you discover this movie? We talking VHS, Laserdisc, cable, theaters? Hit us up in the chat and let us know. So, Dustin, do you remember the first time you watched the masterpiece that is The Running Man?
Yeah, I do. It was with a friend over at his house. He had like satellite, the first kind of satellite that was, huge.
The giant
got
ones.
all sorts of crazy.
The big old dish.
Yes.
Yo,
Oh,
huge.
man. My heart.
And, got up in the middle of the night. You'd have to turn it so quietly just so his parents wouldn't wake up, and turn this behemoth out there. And I remember he's like, he saw it before and he was like, dude, you got to watch this movie. And, I remember we caught it and I was just like, yo, what is this? It just, I was young and I remember it just felt like one of those movies that, you shouldn't be watching because it's rated R or whatever. And it's just crazy, but you were just addicted to it. And then as a kid, just all the futurism shit was just so cool. That was like what I really dug, that. And then of course, Total Recall, just as a kid, I loved all the futurism shit in general. I think that was a huge seller. I don't know, a huge sort of genre they're exploring there. Yeah.
Those are great movies to have discovered on like early satellite, if you think about it, because they're such satellite was such a futuristic technology at the time and still kind of is compared to the way most other data is delivered, the exception of cell phones. But back then, man, satellite was so state of the art. I mean, you felt like you had a little piece of NASA in your backyard. Because you
right, totally.
Do y'all remember that movie Stay Tuned?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Where everybody,
I love
anytime
Peter Hyams movie. That movie's
I know.
great.
Anytime I see one of those dishes, I always kept thinking of that movie. Like that thing's gonna suck
That's
me in,
so
and I'm gonna be
big.
in my own.
Yeah,
dude. And then we gotta fight our way out. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Do like a Salt and Pepper music video while you know.
That's another one of those movies that was sneaky way ahead of its time. Not fully appreciated back then, but you watch it now, you're like, oh my god.
Oh, Stay Tuned is genius. Like pure genius.
Yeah. We did not deserve Stay Tuned back in 1992.
That's the best sentence you've ever said. It's so true. We did not deserve that movie.
No,
we
need it now.
That was a gift upon this world, and we just took a big shat upon it.
Well, what are you gonna do? So do you guys remember the first time watching The Running Man?
I don't so here's the thing. I know I saw it on HBO, but I also vividly remember like Ian with these with the 6 hour, 8 hour, video cassettes.
Yes.
So one of my cousins was a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and he had one that had Conan, Predator, Running Man. So I don't know if I saw maybe bits and pieces of it on that video, on that VCR tape, and then I eventually saw it on HBO. But either way, it's either taped off of HBO or live on HBO. So it's HBO.
What a triple decker club that would be, though.
Beautiful.
Conan, Running Man, and Predator. That's just delicious.
They used to, I'll tell you, HBO back in the day actually did do some programming like that.
Well, they would do the Arnold Schwarzenegger block. It was just it would run all night.
And you felt
I remember
you
USA.
Yeah, USA would do it too, yeah.
Yeah, USA
Up
would
All
do
Night,
the
yeah.
evolution of Arnold. Yeah, the evolution of Arnold.
It-
And play
I-
all this fucking.
Oh,
movies.
they would even show like Hercules in New York back
Oh,
then,
they would.
right?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah, they
remember
play
like
every single one that they could play.
every
Yeah.
weekend was Conan the Destroyer. Nobody wants to watch Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked them all.
I liked it as
so,
a kid, but like, you know, it's
I
not
didn't
the
know any
Barbarian,
better. I
let's
love
be
that
real.
movie. Yeah,
I like it.
even
I like you
I-
said that. You did not know any better. It is.
I
it
didn't
is
know any
true.
better. No, I think I might have saw that one first actually as a kid and was like, "What is this? It's
That makes sense.
it's crazy."
I
I buy
even liked
that.
Yeah,
Red
I mean-
Sonia, Red Sonia with him too. I love
Well,
that.
Yeah,
that
that-
was, you know, that was like a.
Pack
Like
your
a-
I love
he
that
was
too.
becoming
I
a
didn't
star, and
know-
we're like, let's get this
Pack your
contract to
crap.
our advantage one more time.
Get
no,
outta
no, no,
here,
no, no, no,
Mickey.
no, no.
Pack
El
your
Nino
stuff.
likes it too. El Nino likes it
I didn't
too.
know that it wasn't a Conan movie for the longest time. Like
Well,
the
that's
longest
the
time.
trick.
I just
That's how,
assumed.
that's how they
Right,
tricked
yeah.
everybody. You know.
Yeah. I was just like got the box, whatever. You know, I didn't really pay attention, and
I thought it was like a sequel to a Conan movie. I thought it was like it was
Yeah,
just like
I thought it was
it's
just one of them.
it's just a
Yeah.
different character. Even though like we didn't get like the Sandra Bergman, right? She was originally.
Yeah,
in-
but I got the chick from Rocky, and I was like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool."
Brigitte, yeah,
you know,
Brigitte,
yeah,
exactly.
Brigitte.
yeah.
Looking
my
God.
fine, oh so fine.
My heart. Well, getting back to
Yeah, sorry.
getting back to Running Man. Ian, do you remember the first time you saw Running Man?
I do. So my cousin Alex, we were taking a family vacation in North Carolina, and you know, as a kid, we didn't really have a lot of VHSs. You know, like we recorded VHSs, but to actually buy a box VHS was a very rare thing. I only had like a few of those. And so whenever I went to somebody's house, I was always obsessed with the home videos that they had. You know, it was like, oh, that's like, ooh, you're bougie. Oh, you're rich. I love, you know, you have VHS, you know. And my cousin Alex had these, and I saw he had the VHS cover Running Man with Arnold, where it's just like the newspaper face Arnold. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it
it's a
wasn't
black
really-
and white image. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a black and white.
Okay,
It's
like Andre the Giant.
it's like a one-tone gray.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
one of the worst VHS covers ever. Like if you look at it,
It
in
really
history-
was
I
like
know what
we
you're
had
talking
no money
about.
left for
Yeah.
this cover. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
cover,
and
And
the cover
I
was
used that
boring,
image for
totally.
a thumbnail too.
Yeah, it's
It was like
it's-
this.
Yeah.
This is. I just think of this and nothing else but Running Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
but
Which
then
is probably like a reflection of the banality of the future, the dystopic. You know,
it's just all it's just all Arnold.
yeah.
So,
it's just-
I remember
I
though,
think actually.
I just remember looking at it. I'm like, what is this movie? And my cousin, you know, was like, oh, that's the greatest movie ever. You know, because he was
really
like
is.
he was like 10 years older than me, and so you know. We watch it, and again, I've said this on the show before, but after watching that movie, I absolutely recreated the entire movie with my action figures.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it was,
totally.
and I had the Terminator 2 action figure with like the missing arm. I don't care. He was still Ben Richards.
You know how
with
you
half
grow
the
up and
face.
you know you grow up and you want the toys that you never got. I grew
Yeah,
up
it
and I
would
want
have
the
been
toys.
awesome.
I want the toys that never existed. I want the Running Man like play set.
The
Right,
place
Like
there
where you
should-
put
there
dudes
should-
in the
Yeah,
chute and
yeah.
they get launched to their
Yeah.
doom. You know.
But think about that.
Yeah.
If Running Man had been like 5 years later, there would have been action figures for the Running Man. Like there just would have been.
I mean, there totally could have been. There's no reason that there couldn't have been in '87. But this was his second most popular movie that came out in '87. Predator was a monster hit, and
Ah.
this was not. You know, I don't think this did Predator money. I'm sure it was a hit because Arnold was on a fucking tear. He was on a hot streak back in the '80s, and rightfully so. A lot of these movies are great, and I think I was thinking about the other day. A lot of the credit goes to the villains of these movies, where he, you know, other
Mhm.
than him being the villain in the Terminator, of course. But he had a very diverse lineup of villains and actors that would find a way to zig instead of zag. They didn't put Arnold up against a lot of other giant muscle-bound guys and just go like this. You know, they'd put him up against, you know, like a weird Freddie Mercury guy in Commando and Vernon Wells who plays it like they're in love,
Yeah.
you know, or they'd put him up
Mhm.
against
Family Feud host.
Family Feud host, yeah, like a weird TV host who's
Mhm.
like, you know, 4 feet tall, you know.
Yeah.
What an odd choice, but it's brilliant because of the contrast.
Now,
Couldn't
I
be
can't
more different than
remember.
Arnold.
Was This movie, did this movie come out before he was hosting Family Feud?
Oh, it was way after Richard Dawson.
Yeah, oh
He
yeah,
was
he'd
doing-
already
he was
hosted.
doing
He was
the-
hosting the feud in like the 60s,
Which is
right?
which is
Yeah.
the reason why they cast Richard Dawson.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
He was so familiar with the Family Feud audience that it
But
worked perfectly.
my whole thing is like when I first saw it, I remember distinctly going like, "Oh, it's the host from Family Feud," because I had known them from that before. So like, I didn't even think about like I'm like, this guy is an actor. I'm like, I just thought like, I just thought he's the host of a game show. Like, you're not seeing like,
He actually was Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson's first big thing was he was on Hogan's Heroes.
Mhm.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah,
But
he was one
but
of
I
the.
didn't see Hogan's Heroes at the time.
See, I had seen Hogan's Heroes, so to me, I never saw Family Feud because he was the host in the '70s, like so.
No, I always saw Family Feud.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I never saw. So he was just a Hogan's Hero guy to me, but
Wow.
you
You're the
know.
only like 10-year-old kid or 5-year-old kid watching this
Watching
movie.
Hogan's
It's Hogan's Hero guy.
Colonel Klink. Hello,
Ah,
hello.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Hello. Hello.
All right.
Think, McFly.
Mm.
Think.
All right.
Come on.
So I have not exactly vivid memories of my first time watching the movie, but vivid memories of being so insanely young to be watching this movie. And I will get to that in just a sec. I do want to go to the live chat for a sec. First thing I see in the live chat, of course, not the first thing in it, but the first thing I noticed is Sean Gold saying, "Hey, what happened to Chris? Laundry day?" No, Sean Gold, I dressed for the Running
Oh
Man.
my
As you see right here,
gosh!
I've got
You're
my Adidas
not.
track jacket gear. I'm not wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I had the shirt for it, but you fucked it up. No, I just wanted to wear Running Man gear, and I feel like this is the closest thing I have to their Adidas tracksuits. This is really I should
Hell
be
yeah,
fighting
dude.
Jason on a
Listen, we're getting
rooftop with this,
inventive
but
here on VCR Redux here lately, folks. All right,
we got multiple
just gotta
levels
go
of
with it.
wardrobe changes coming your way. We got Mike stepping into frame as Chris gets his screen fixed. But let's see who else in the chat. We got Alex Bonafonte, Jeremy Ledford in there, Angie Saunders, Gold's Code of Sean Gold, Sean Gold of Gold's Code, of course. Let's see, Mike Riffraff, Matt Sharp is in there, another mashup genius himself. One of my favorite mashups ever, I have to say, is his Forrest Gump The Running Man mashup. So seriously,
Smart.
guys, check out Matt Sharp
Very
and
smart.
Power Graphics. Angie Saunders as well, another mashup genius, and Mike Riffraff as well. A lot of mashup people in here, and I appreciate you all and cranking out all the amazing content that you do. So let's see, any discoveries in here? There's not much. Okay, is theater for Jeremy Ledford. Oh God, I'm so jealous. This is one of those movies I would love to see in a packed house theater. I've been watching it. Yeah.
I will say this. Running Man is one of those, if you have a crowd of friends and you're just wanting to like just have a awesome night, crack open a few, sudsy suds, get some, stuffed crust pizza, right? And just rock out to the Running Man. Okay, like this movie is everything with the crowd. We'll talk more about it.
Oh yeah, have you guys seen that? I want that stuffed crust with the pepperoni in the crust. That's just like, how have we not had this technology years ago? We've been living. It has been shadows on the wall, people, until we turned around and saw reality of pepperoni in our stuffed crust.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
okay,
exactly
so there's
what I was
also
thinking.
and also some people saying VHS is I see a few of those in here, which is how I discovered the movie. I had the beautiful white sticker red ink Vestron VHS. Thank God my old man had closets and closets full of VHS tapes. I was literally watching this when I was like 2 or 3. I mean, I guess I had to be at least 3 if it came out in '87 or maybe 4 when the VHS came out. But it was a movie that I remember living in or watching it in my old house before I moved. And I moved when I was like 4 or 5. So, and then I remember specifically after I had moved and I was like starting school in like a new place, it was like kindergarten. And I would watch this movie before going to school, like a lot, like many days. I would watch The Running Man and like, the ending and they're like taking the and I'm like, all right, this has got me like in the vibe that I can deal with like, kindergarten for like 3 hours or whatever, that is that you have to deal with.
Chris,
Dude,
little
that's
Chris
so funny.
little Chris has a cigar in his mouth, and
I kind of like felt like I did. It's weirdly enough. I'd be like, yeah, that's gonna be me. Like I'm gonna be big and jacked someday.
You had the yellow gummy cigar. It's like
Oh God, don't even get me started. My dad would get us the little toy candy
Oh,
gum
hell
cigarettes and shit.
Oh, I
like
love
that.
those. The ones that
things
like
were amazing.
the gum ones where they had the little powder and you
the
one
puffs
puff
and
out.
stuff.
and,
yeah.
smoke.
Oh man, the
remember
days
those.
where like kids had toy guns that looked real as fuck. Oh
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. All you turds born in like 2008, fart off. You had no coolness in your childhood. We had everything.
Thanks for reaching out to the youth of America, Ian.
Whatever. They're turds. They know that. You're turds with all your woke predator prey crap. I don't want to hear it anymore.
But I gotta say, this movie may be the first time I started to love a shitty one-liner, because this movie is just filled to the fucking rafters with them. Like some of the best shitty
All right.
one-liners ever.
Well, you were
Great.
just used to it.
Time out though. We can all please tell me we all agree though. Here's Sub-Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Plain
Plain-
Zero.
was
Planes.
the screenwriter not there that day? That is a line that the screenwriter was in the theater, and when that played, he turned to the director and he's like, "What happened?"
That's the
That is-
best line, though. That's the
But it
best
makes
line.
no
That's great.
sense. Like, what is that line?
That's
mean,
why I
it's-
love it, because it makes no
Plain.
sense. Because it makes no goddamn sense. And sometimes people say things in the heat of passion and in the cold of the ice.
I always say
and-
like you're looking for logic and reason where there is none.
No, they all sat around, and I guarantee you the director looked at everybody. He's like, "Does anybody have a better line? I'll pay you $1,000 right here if you come up with a better line." And they all were just like,
Yeah.
No,
This is the way
that's
it
a
worked out.
line-
It started what you just said is true, but he also said, and if no one does this, I'm gonna pick one of you at random and make you write a fucking monologue for Arnold. And boom, later on, I live to see Killian, you cold-blooded bastard.
It's a
I live to see
line
you eat that
literally
contract.
written after actually doing a line. So it's
Ah.
"Just here's Sub-Zero, now Plain Zero."
and then literally it's just like, watch this was gonna kill in the theaters.
It's like, how much coke do we have left? Like none. Oh shit! Like,
But it
we
was-
gotta
it-
finish.
I
This
gotta
was the
finish the
movie.
script.
Yeah,
I
this
gotta
was the
finish
movie
scene.
I did notice the Arnold one-liners. This was the one that made me go like, okay, this is his shtick. Okay.
I will say, Buzzsaw Had to Split is a fucking great one.
Has
That
there
one's
ever
good.
been has there ever been
Yeah.
commentary on this
Rob
movie?
Cohen did a commentary on The Running Man.
He did, but like what about Arnold?
No, Arnold
No,
doesn't.
Arnold doesn't do
commentaries.
commentaries. I don't think.
I would love I would love to hear him discuss his movies.
And can we just take a moment to just say, like, Arnold and Spielberg, like, yeah, thanks for the many greats, but like, come on, you're too cool to sit down and do a fucking commentary. Like, you know how much that would mean to people? Like me?
know.
Yeah.
You know what
I
that would mean to me?
A documentary on Running Man, a documentary
do,
on
they do,
Arnold
yeah.
movies in
Oh.
general.
They had a good special edition of The Running Man, but most of so this is obviously in the history of Running Man. This is one that Arnold kind of throws this one away. If he never really talks about Running Man, he never really brings it up. But they did some good special features, and I think the special edition came out in like 2008, 2009, when like reality TV was like really kind of on the cusp of everything. And they really do talk about how Running Man is getting closer and closer every single day. And I don't disagree. I mean,
I
really,
don't
it's-
disagree. Yeah.
you got Love,
Yeah.
you got Love Island, you got all this stuff. Why haven't we had, people being, prison inmates fighting and,
Well-
TV shows like that? The problem is it would work.
The sneaky thing is,
Yeah.
like, this movie has predicted a large number of things that we deal with in pretty fucking close proximity to the time that we wound up dealing with them, right? It predicted deep fakes, right? When they swapped the footage of Richards to make it look like he was
Oh,
killed
you're
by Captain
right.
Freedom.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
deep
about that.
fakes. They predicted
Yeah.
deep fakes
Mhm.
almost down to the fucking exact year, right?
Mhm.
Not only that, they predicted that at one point in that time, one of the most powerful figures in the world would be a fucking reality TV show host. So that's 2 right there.
Oh,
The
you
digital.
you
sorry.
went Trump on us.
I'm just saying. That's a fucking coincidence there. Game show. They're both fucking
Very
game show
interesting.
hosts.
It actually
They're
is
both
true.
extremely powerful. You put the whole concept of fake news with the edited footage, not to get again like super political or whatever, but like that's something
When
that happened.
they're setting up Arnold.
So it's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
The digital video format that they store the movies on is actually almost the exact same size and dimensions as a CFast 2.0 card that a lot of cameras shoot on. So that's like a kind of a random small piece, and I'm sure there's a million more. You're the people that you're the Butcher of Bakersfield. You did this. You burned my songs. Blah 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 blah. Like that kind of shit. Yeah. We're not that far off from that, and it's scary. But again, not to get all political. Just it's more about future predictions, than anything else.
Yeah. It's always fun to get to a point where those movies have seasoned a bit, and you can look and where you're at in time. It's always fun to look and see how accurate they were.
So are we saying that are we saying that Arnold is Nostradamus?
Yeah. Not quite the Simpsons level. It's not quite the Simpsons level of future predictions.
Pack your stuff. Get out. The one thing I do love about Running Man, though, and I will say this. The Running Man, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I think The Running Man is like a Kubrick movie. All right, when it comes to how this movie connects with its source material, which is, the Richard Bachman book or Stephen King book, they're 2 very different things. All right, the book and the movie are 2 very different things, but they are both genius and complement each other, because Running Man has no right to be this good. If you really think about it, this is a
very true.
It is a movie that, I mean, gosh, if you didn't have Arnold, like let's say you had, who's the bad guy from like Das Boot, who's going to be the original Terminator?
Lance Henriksen?
Jürgen Punchau.
Oh, Jürgen Prochnow?
Yeah, Jürgen Prochnow. I mean, imagine if you got him to be in The Running Man. This movie would be forgotten.
I'll watch it. I
would watch it, but like for the rest of the but for the rest of the world,
the budget would be 1/10 what it was though.
But it would have been,
it wouldn't be an Arnie movie.
Yeah, which he is more like the book Ben Richards. Heck, Jean-Claude Van Damme is more like the Ben Richards in the book, but Arnold just makes it. He elevates it to this next tier of like, it doesn't matter that the story doesn't always make sense. It's an Arnold movie where he says, "I'll be back," which has also one of the best retorts for "I'll be back."
The only retort.
"I'll be back," only in a rerun, kid.
Only in the rerun.
Like that's a great line.
It is one of the better uses of "I'll be back" shoehorned in, those other movies.
That sort of shares the same sort of mirrors what Blade Runner and like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. They're 2 very different things, but they're both equally very good, in their own right. And
Less Than Zero the book, Less Than Zero the movie. 2 brilliant things, very different,
Yeah.
The autobiography title of Chris Stiles' life.
I absolutely love that. Well, I mean, we're talking about Sub-Zero here. God.
Less Than Sub-Zero. There's your
Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
A freaking strung out gladiator sitting by a poolside in LA.
Less Than Plain Zero.
Less Than Plain Zero. Oh my God! Fucking.
Are you saying like an American Gladiator could have been in this movie?
They should have been. Here's another thing I also love about this movie, and I give this because the world hasn't given this man credit. Stig Svensson. All right, do y'all know who Stig Svensson is?
Are you talking about Svenel and Thorson?
That's the name. Yeah, that guy right there.
Oh yeah.
I love how I can decrypt your bullshit and make it somehow fucking legible to
Sticks
the
Svensson. I thought
to
that
the
was his
home
name.
audience here.
I thought that was his name, Sticks Svensson. Whatever.
Stig
That-
Svensson.
That man.
I love you,
Captain
buddy.
Planet.
Holy shit.
That man-
Captain Planet.
Yes, Captain Planet. Oh my
Well, we
God,
have
the
Captain
soldiers
Freedom.
of the future.
Jesse Ventura is brilliant in this. I love. Oh my God,
I
him wearing the
know.
robot shit and like, this is bullshit. I was killing guys
Oh,
like
yeah.
this 10 years ago with my
I-
bare
I-
hands.
Jesse Ventura,
Oh.
like literally, like him and Arnold together are just like the best.
Oh, it's
Like
great.
I like.
Yeah. And
I
there
got
you go.
time
What
to
predicted
bleed.
those two guys going on to become governors? I mean, that's just weird.
Oh shit.
And
that's
Yeah,
right.
dystopic.
that's
and,
right,
Well,
that's right.
They
you
both
know.
became the Running Man for a
If he had
while.
been
Right,
born
primary
here,
season.
hey, if he had been born here, you know Arnold would have ran for president. I mean, you could have had this.
he would have run and won. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. They wanted to
even
change.
with
They're
even
trying
with
to
all
well,
his
figure-
even with all his bullshit, even with all his
Not now, but like back then.
back
Like,
then,
yeah.
yeah, back then, yeah. If you would have run in like
Like the
1990
90s,
fucking
yeah, the
6 or
90s.
something,
Yeah, yeah.
1996.
I thought it was
2000.
interesting when Maria Conchita Alonso goes in
Oh, I love
to her house, and yeah, she's just awesome. This movie. She goes into her apartment and like she's saying TV news on, lights, music.
Another
whatever.
thing they fucking predicted, yeah.
Right, all the series
And
shit you use
booking your
now.
fucking flight from the home computer. Another thing they predicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have a travel pass to go, and all the guards with masks and stuff. I thought it was interesting, but also,
Yeah,
I
but the
thought,
Jetsons
with
predicted
if
that.
a kid, right? I'm just wondering if a kid watches, Running Man now, like her dad, their dad makes them watch it. The kid, that would probably mean nothing to them. It wouldn't. All that futurism scene would just be like a regular. It probably
I think you know what it
wouldn't
would be.
as
I
cool
think the
as
kids
for
would just basically laugh, be like, "Haha, look at how like stupid that computer looks. Look at how like
right.
ancient
Yeah.
they predict, you know."
Yeah. Totally.
Like they
gosh,
had the right idea, but the interface looks so wrong, you know.
So yeah, totally.
Like they
Yeah.
thought we'd
I
still
know.
be on like those like green screen, like vector based,
Hell,
Whatever.
Spaceballs is the only
Mhm.
one that kind of got it right. Where it comes on the screen while you're taking a piss. Like, that's that's the only future movie that actually makes sense.
That's so good. I told you never to call me in here. Oh God. And that's kind of why, I wanted to go with Climbing for Dollars for the episode title. It sort of remind me of, Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. That and
Oh,
like
man.
as a little kid, I was straight up obsessed with Climbing for Dollars. I was like, I'd fucking watch that show. That seems amazing. Like,
Oh yeah.
dude's getting mauled by dogs.
Climbing for dollars. Yeah. I
Climbing for
would.
dollars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
That
would- I
along
would
with
love to
every
see-
single show on Stay Tuned, I would watch as well.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God.
Mine,
Oh,
Stay
yeah.
Tuned.
Stay
and
Tuned is
then,
like where the mashup like practically was invented. They have a lot of great mashups in Stay
yeah.
Tuned. I can't remember any of them
Dwayne's
off the top of my
Underworld.
head.
Dwayne's
Yeah.
Underworld. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was one of them. That's right. I think it was an Exorcist one too, or something, or Driving Miss Daisy. So there was something. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Anyway, not important,
Wow,
but God, that's a
Yeah.
brilliant movie too.
By the way, one
Um,
of the hardest DVDs to find.
Stay tuned.
Stay Tuned is it is an out of print, very expensive DVD to
Oh.
find.
Are you sure it's not part of the Warner Archive collection?
It might have been, but for a long period there, the actual DVD was
Hmm.
very hard to find.
Hmm.
It always
Interesting.
made like lists of like rare out of print DVDs, and Stay Tuned was always in there. Because everybody's forgotten about it, except people who are like, "Oh my God, that movie was great."
I think it's still creeping around on cable. I see it in a very respectable
seen it in
high def
years.
presentation.
No, I haven't seen it in a
Mm.
long time.
Oh, I've watched it
Long
very
time.
recently. Like beautiful scope, HD. It was fantastic. Got me stoked. And again, Peter Hyams, a fucking lensman. He knows, I think he lenses all his own movies, right? I think Chris
Also,
was
well,
saying
yeah,
that on an
also did
episode.
another great futuristic Arnold movie, The Sixth Day.
I love that movie too.
You would, Mickey. Shut up. You would. You
It's,
would.
it's just it's a
Done
good
with
movie.
you. Get out. Like, how
Hey.
many times I got to tell you? Get out.
Name a fucking bad movie that he's done.
Arnold's done.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a
Last
few.
Stand.
Last
Like,
Stand wasn't
Junior.
bad. Junior was
Junior.
bad. Junior was bad. Yeah.
Jingle All the Way. Batman
Jingle All the
and
Way is
Robin.
not a bad movie.
Stop your hatred of Jingle All the Way, Chris. You keep trying to bring that down in the universe, and you'll never win.
No,
all right?
come on.
Fucking planet am I on? I'm sorry.
Sinbad.
I love Sinbad, but there's way better Sinbad movies. There's way better Arnold movies. There's way better Christmas movies. There's even fucking way better Jake Lloyd movies than Jingle All the Way. So that's right. Episode 1, I'd take that over Jingle All the Way any fucking day. At least I get like one kick-ass lightsaber fight in episode 1.
You get Jar Jar.
Well, you used to have been a bad boy for bringing up Jar Jar. But at any rate, we are at the half-hour point, so it is pitch time. And again, that goes for everyone in the live chat. Hit us up with your Running Man 2 pitches. What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? And again, if you have a pitch, it helps to write the word pitch at the beginning so I catch it because I'm getting old and my eyesight's not so good. So, how the fuck do you resurrect this franchise? It's been a lot of years, right? If you're bringing Arnold back, then you have to have this set at like 2048 or 2053 or something, way in the future. And we'd like to assume that based off of the ending of Running Man, that the show was fucking canceled, and obviously Killian died, and that like maybe society started to shape up. I don't know, but things are cyclical and it could come back around 30, 40 years later in an even more heinous fashion. Maybe it is time to revisit a lot of the themes that are explored in this movie.
All right. You got it. In me, you got two options. All right.
Lay it on me.
One is, and this is just Killian. All right. If you have another villain, I would either go for Steve Harvey, because let's be honest, Steve Harvey has not had a chance to play bad or a baddie or nasty guy villain. He never has.
He hasn't had a chance to do anything really.
Well, but that man's got more money than anybody on this planet.
He's all TV stuff.
Or I have a radical idea. He didn't work on Jeopardy, but LeVar Burton.
People love him
with the
too
bad
much.
guy.
Yeah, come on now.
People love him too much to make him the villain,
I don't. Well, let me ask you this: have any of you read the book?
No, I take it you have by your backdrop.
Well,
he's got an autographed copy.
I wish I did. No, the difference of the movie and the book is actually interesting. The book of The Running Man is basically, the premise is still the same, right? Like The Running Man is a TV show in the future, but the way that it works is actually more reality TV. It's that literally you start in, like, they just drop you off somewhere and there are cameras that are like continuously filming you all over the place, and you literally are just running, and there's no basically American Gladiators.
It's like drone cameras, imagine.
It's like drone cameras, and it's
or
literally
TMZ.
Well, but it's also like these cops basically are coming after you. So there is no gladiators. And what's interesting is how by the very end, this book was famous for, when Stephen King wrote it, that literally this guy flies an airplane into the main tower of the corporation. And so when 9/11 happened, it was like a big thing. But I tell you all that because, in honesty, the way to reboot The Running Man is to maybe do the book.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because
I like that idea.
Because, and again, they're two different movies. The Ben Richards of the book is a very scrawny, a guy who hasn't eaten ever. It's a very like 1984 kind of Ben Richards. It's not Arnold. And even, Stephen King is famous for saying, like, Ben Richards is not Arnold Schwarzenegger,
So would it be like then like a reimagining?
That's how I would almost say that'd be the better approach to do it. Now, that's one option. If you're gonna remake it, that's one option. But I also want us to kind of talk about, how do we bring back literally Running Man II? How do you bring Arnold back into this fold? Like, I'd be very curious.
Yeah, that's what interests me personally. It's like, can it be done? Or do you just bring back Maria Conchita because she's amazing and call it a day?
Well, let me ask
Well,
you this:
you
what
could-
if Ben Richards, as Arnold? You don't do a Ben Richards. You do have the book Running Man set in the world that has Arnold as Ben Richards. Like, what if Arnold now is the bad guy in this version of he's turned into Killian?
Or Killian's assistant was played by the great Kurt Fuller. What if Kurt Fuller is now the main bad guy? He's more than capable.
But then you could also have
Right.
something
Wayne's
like,
World and Ghostbusters and
I
one and
don't, I don't,
two.
I don't know if
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this makes sense, or I don't know if this is just be like a cheat cop out way. What you could have. I mean, like Maria Conchita Alonso and Arnold. They obviously they're together. They get married. They have a kid, and maybe the kid somehow this new bad guy, wants to get back at Arnold, and somehow some
Right.
way gets the kid, and the kid has to get in the game. And Arnold, finds out and it's like, no, you're not taking my kid. And then he's like, all
Right.
right, then you run with him. And better yet, your wife too. So then you get Arnold, his son, Maria Conchita Alonso. And now basically, if they win, they get to go free, obviously. And if they don't, then,
You just titled
Yeah.
this. You just titled this movie "The Family Man." Sans Nicolas Cage. That's what you just did.
Well, they
I was
should
gonna say, is it Running
take
Man
it.
2 Family Matters? Yeah.
maybe so.
Yeah. You take their idea and then you just do aliens with it, aliens too, and just James Cameron the shit out of it, make it just
Oh, yeah.
twice as much action and just twice as much insanity. You make it like a war. You make Arnold and Maria, they're like the leaders of the solar punk underground army. They have been for years. Their kids and stuff are. And then you've got, the offspring of those other assholes who are the leader of the dystopic cyberpunk guys who've just been, winning at everything and just, sort of grinding everything down and everything's kind of come to a head. You could do something like that and just make it an action extravaganza. That'd be fun. But why
That'd be
not?
fun. Well, there are some pitches in the chat. I don't want to lose them. Sean Gold's Code's first pitch. A behind-the-scenes documentary of the game show itself, sort of like The Office. We see Sub-Zero's commute, Dynamo's marriage problems at home, stuff fans want to see, and more. Something.
Oh, genius.
Buzzsaw. I do want to see Buzzsaw trying to be a normal person anywhere. Like, I want to see Buzzsaw renting videotapes. I want to see Buzzsaw like shopping for groceries. I want to see Buzzsaw like picking up his fucking unitard at the dry cleaners or whatever.
Only if you had, if the music in the background is the the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
No, sir, it will not be, because the wonderful and brilliant Harold Faltermeyer did some of his best work on this movie, and we're not taking a note of it away.
This is true. This is one of the first soundtracks I ever downloaded on iTunes.
I listened to Paula's theme about 3 times, just waiting for this like pre-show to start today. I was just like, oh my God, I found it. Holy shit, the theme song all the Laker girls dance to. Oh, that's just such a great scene.
I just love the intro to Bakersfield. Do 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 do. Do do do.
Oh,
yeah. Harold Faltermeyer was great.
Dude,
But isn't that interesting
Incredible,
though? Like
man.
all the stuff in this movie now, if waiting 30 years has now kind of recycled itself, that it is now in
a little bit, yeah.
It
And,
really
like,
has Harold
yeah.
Faltermeyer music back in, this 80s approach to it all. And so
I think, and also because we live in like a reboot generation, like in a Redux and sequel series, every show has come back. Like it does kind of make sense that people are like, oh man, they brought the show back and made it better than ever. You see like people on the street saying that shit. Like,
well, when you can't come up with great new ideas, what do? You steal great old ideas.
Now my man over there is wearing a Raw shirt. Okay, so here's one of the things I thought would be interesting is, who do you get as the gladiators for this? And honestly, shouldn't it be wrestlers?
Some amazing characters.
But shouldn't it be wresters? I think wrestlers would be the perfect.
Sure.
Because it's like either wrestlers or UFC. I don't want David Bostina or whatever it is. He's in everything right now.
Well, let's be honest.
Batista?
There, I mean,
yeah, that guy.
Batista,
So,
you can get Brock
honestly, the way
Lesnar.
to-
You can get Brock Lesnar. You can get like, there's a bunch.
I
There's a
don't
bunch
think
of
it
them.
matters. I don't think it matters. I don't think, first of all, none of the stalkers outside of Jim Brown and Jesse Ventura were names. Jim Brown was great, by the way. You have to shout him out.
Mhm.
But
Fireball.
Oh,
if
that
you
was
think
Jim
about,
Brown.
if you
I
think
want
about what
everybody
these,
at Dragon Fest to be a stalker.
oh man, that would be
Okay,
great.
I want Don the Dragon Wilson in this movie. All right,
Oh, that would be
Cynthia
great.
Rothrock.
That would be great.
give me that.
But
blood
but-
running. Like that's what
but-
this is. Blood running.
you also need these characters. And who are these guys? They're fucking Mega Man villains, right? They're like Iceman, Fireman,
Yeah,
Saw
Mhm.
Man, fucking Electric
Mhm.
Man. They're all Mega Man villains. So you could
Yeah.
literally probably look at a list of every Mega Man villain, and you could probably find your next batch of stalkers just by cherry picking things off of that. Seriously, I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Well,
what these
that's
things
it,
are.
yeah.
If you distill them down to the simplest concept, they're Mega Man villains.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So
I love-
there's
I love
an
the
element of
concept
that
too.
you need to bring. There's almost a funness of that. Like, oh, we've seen Arnold
Right.
fight other things, but we've never seen him fight a chainsaw man or a fucking,
Right, a flamethrower man.
Yeah, flamethrower man or electricity man.
That's so.
I will say this. I would love to have Running Man I to really. I do want to have Arnold. Like this would actually be interesting to have an older Arnold. Like
It could be, yeah. I think what Arnold would be is Arnold would have become the Mick Foley role, or not the Mick Foley, the Mick Fleetwood role. Mick Foley. The Mick Fleetwood role, where he's like the old guy underground doing shit behind the scenes,
Mhm.
and maybe his son is like a resistance guy too, or something, or his daughter, whatever.
Can we get Dougie Doug riding one of the sleds too?
Dougie
what is the
Doug?
matter with you?
Where did that? Oh,
he just pulled a cool
yeah,
run. He just pulled a
runnings,
cool
duh.
runnings.
Wow, I can't believe that went over my head. Fucking A. You dead, man? Yeah, man. Yeah. And I threw that out. as an episode
That's the
title.
movie. All of a sudden, John Candy. We
Cool Running Man.
we do Rogue One with John Candy and makes an appearance. We digitize John Candy. That's the
Oh,
Running
my
Man.
God.
movie.
That'd be awesome. So we could do that too, though. Remember that we could
Dustin's like,
digitize
"Oh my God."
Killian. We can digitize Killian,
Well,
there would be a really
and that would
cool-
make sense. Like,
that
as
would
far
actually
as-
be interesting if you had like Killian as like now
Mm.
he's a martyr. Like it's been a lot of years later.
Right.
And
You
Killian's
have-
he's like a
martyred.
fallen hero.
Yeah, you have the assistant guy still be the ultimate bad.
He's
but
like
he figures
the
you know,
Jerry West NBA logo kind of
yeah,
thing.
he's like,
Yeah.
we gotta bring the old fans back to this TV show. Why don't we have like a digitized version of Killian?
Oh, okay,
Oh.
Chris is gonna hate me for this, but like it's
No, I got it.
the world is starting to get a little bit more conservative, right? There's a lot, like this Running Man world has been kind of freed up for a lot of years with what Ben Richards did, but it's starting to get a little bit more conservative, right? And so there's this group wanting to bring back the Running Man. And so there's a pilot, but they kidnap Ben Richards' son for the pilot.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So
Also-
it's a Running Man pilot. Like this is all subversive, and this is like an underground thing to broadcast. And so you reverse it. They're going to broadcast this show to the world. They interrupt the signal to show you the new Running Man to get to convert people. But of course, throughout the movie, it fails because Ben Richards' son ends up killing the bad guys. It's like, oh, they're supposed to be the best in the the world. How is this happening?
The new host of the Running Man, I've got it. Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, that would be awesome.
People
I
love
thought
to
about,
hate this guy for whatever reason.
thought about that, but he's never really acted. And I guess
Well, I
He
mean,
could
like,
totally do it.
Yeah, he could act.
He
could
acts
act.
every
Absolutely
day
do
of his
it.
life.
Yeah.
And again, like he's a counter presence. He's not a big buff guy.
Can you
You're not gonna
imagine
be
him
doing
going
this,
like?
you
But
know?
you have to keep him as like Ryan Seacrest, not like a character. Ryan Seacrest, just so he can do
Right.
Seacrest out.
I don't know what that is, but I don't
I
think he needs that. I don't think he
also
needs to play
want him to
himself.
have.
Yeah.
Also want him to be like a Brazil.
Fucking Richard Dawson didn't play himself. He played Damon Killian.
I know, but still, like I think it would be good if you just had him as Brian Seacrest.
I think
That may be
he's
a
a
little too-
robot.
Yeah.
That's what it is, because he never ages.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden at
Oh,
the very
Killian?
end, yeah,
Killian?
but he's a robot. You know, Ryan Seacrest
It-
falls down and like blows up.
It would be interesting in taking a star that's like kind of fallen off a little bit, or maybe not quite in their heyday anymore, like someone like, no disrespect, but like maybe John Stamos, you know what I mean, and making him like the host of Running Man.
Oh, that'd be kind of
really
cool.
good looking
Yeah, that'd
TV
be
type of
very
guy,
cool.
And he
and
could
like
bring
you
the
see a
beach-
menacing side of him that you've never seen, maybe,
He could bring back the Beach
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah. Rob Lowe. Ooh, Rob Lowe could be good.
Rob Lowe would
Yeah, Rob
actually
Lowe.
work pretty well in
I
a,
love
Jason,
Rob
Jason
Lowe.
Bateman. I mean, there's several that we could use. Anthony Michael Hall would be great too.
Oh, fuck me. Anthony Michael Hall would be brilliant. And they
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, he
wasted
would
him
be
in that new Halloween movie. What a waste of Anthony
they
Michael Hall
wasted,
that was.
they wasted everything in the new Halloween movie.
They wasted a fucking lot of, 2 hours of my life that I want back.
Yeah,
That-
like so.
Besides the point.
But that would actually be kind of interesting, right? Like they're so. But again, this newer version of the Running Man, again, is kind of like the book, which would actually be a little bit different, right? It's not as flashy. It's not as cartoony, and so because I think that's one of the comments that I think a lot of people will have sometimes about the Running Man. It's a little bit hokey. It's a little bit, but it was designed to be a little bit hokey, right? But now we have a more grittier version.
I do like
would
the
he play- who
concept
would
though,
play
as
his
far
son,
as
though?
if I do like the concept as far as if you were like, like now it's like in the book, like you were describing, where it was like just basically like drones or whatever like that following you everywhere or whatever. But it would be awesome if they were doing that with Ben, with Arnold's character, like they were keeping tabs on him, and
Yeah.
that's how
Right.
and then he realizes this is what's going on, and he has
Right.
to protect not just himself but his family, because they're tracking his family now too,
Right.
all to
He's
do
like
this
the leader.
pilot.
Like
They're trying.
He's
they're
the
trying
leader
to-
of the underground.
Yeah, they're trying to convince him to do this pilot. They literally they reached out to
Yeah.
him saying like, look, why don't you try to do this pilot, this, that, whatever case may be. And then they could kidnap his kid and say like, now you got to do this show.
That would be a way. Who would be his
Well,
kid
that's
though?
interesting,
Who would be
yeah.
a good art besides Chris Pratt? Because everybody's gonna say Chris Pratt.
I mean, there's Ryan Gosling,
I would buy Ryan Gosling in the Running Man.
or you could have his actual son, his
Oh,
actual son
the one he had.
with Maria Shriver.
I think with the one. Never mind.
Oh yeah, his son's actually.
he had
a
another
good
son.
actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Oh,
know which one.
okay.
But
Which one's the older one?
I don't fucking know.
the one you're talking about, Mickey.
Ah, okay.
He was in. I know he was in Grown Ups too. I know that. Like,
Well, the other son is the actor. That's why I say it.
that's the
know?
one you're. That's the one. he's
Whichever.
talking-
Pick one, put him in it.
I mean, that's definitely got
Can we have
potential.
Nick
I
Cage?
like Ryan
Can we have
Gosling.
Nick- Can we have Nick Cage as Killian? I mean, think about
Oh
this: an
God,
Arnold,
delicious.
an
delicious.
Arnold movie with Nicolas Cage.
Delish. I'm in. Take my money.
Yeah,
Sold.
yeah. Or
That-
I was gonna say
Walken.
Neil Patrick Harris, but there are some pitches, and I totally spaced. I read the one pitch and then kind of spaced out for a sec there. But another Gold's Code pitch: Running Man, the Next Generation. Running Man is discovered years later as a TikTok clip, is brought back by a sleazy producer. Turns out to be a hit and needs to be brought down. So that could be actually the way you get to Mickey's idea there. I think it was of trying to get this pilot done, which I really do like. That it's all about sleazy TV producers just trying to get a fucking worthless pilot on TV, and like people are dying and all this shit, and they're spending $1 trillion, and I do like that. There's some comeuppance there that is pretty tasty for me. Let's see. Alex Bonafonte has a pitch: The Running Islanders synopsis. It's Survivor but funnier because all the reality TV stars die except for the likable person. Damn, Ian beat me to it.
Well, they could do it on Hawaii or Bermuda.
Well, I'm always in favor of Hawaiian style everything.
Hawaiian style.
And
Well-
Arnold, I do kind of want Arnold to get to Hawaii.
Maybe he's in
because
Hawaii
He's
taking
trying to
vacation.
get, someone needs to bask under the fucking Maui sun somewhere in this franchise. Whitman Price and Haddad didn't get a chance. And I love that last season's losers. So good. This movie is just, it's like a trip to the skate park. It is like nothing but pure fun, like front to back. This movie's just a great time.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so fucking 80s and so like glammed up and just so, it's very efficient too. Like the storytelling really doesn't waste any time. And I think that's partially because the director, Paul Michael Glazer came out of TV. He'd done like Miami Vice and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Moves fast.
It moves fast. Arnold criticized his direction. Like later, he's like, "Oh, I thought he was a bad choice because he was a TV guy, but like maybe they handed him a TV job because it was just like you shoot, like you're hired and you shoot like a week later."
The movie is basically a TV show.
That's the thing. His TV sensibility worked there. It keeps the fucking plot moving forward.
Which is interesting because I wouldn't want him to do, like that's the only part about like Rocky Balboa that I didn't like. Is all of a sudden like the ending fight looks like an HBO boxing match.
Oh, I know that was hated that. I don't know.
And I know that was a decision.
Yes.
And I mean, I get why he said he did it, but it was just like, really? Like, but I don't want that in this version of Running Man. Like, I want a filmed movie. Like, I don't want them to do TV or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't want it to look
like cutting to clips, is like, for whatever artistic shots are cool, but yeah.
No, I don't want it to look like bad VHS stuff. You know what I mean? Even though I can appreciate, I love a good retro patina. This is futurist, and if anything, you should shoot this in fucking like 8K or 16K to make it like extra sharp and give it this kind of weirdly strange look.
Oh my God, Arnold in 16K though. That's heavy duty makeup.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There's some gray whiskers there here now, folks.
Put an app on him. Let him have the gray beard. I think you don't have to fucking like dye his hair black or anything like that.
After the Terminator movie, they ain't gonna let that have beard. No. Oh no. Anything that looks like Terminator Dark Fate is not gonna be in any movie.
Did he have a beard in Dark Fate?
He did, yeah.
Fart.
Really?
Dark fart.
Dark fart. Yeah. Oh my God, yes. Terminator Dark Fart. That's amazing. Yeah. How did I never think of that? Fuck.
You should have Dustin Nino in your ear. That's why.
Oh my God, shit, that's brilliant. So another pitch in there, Gold's Code pitch. It's Running Man, but Jeopardy. Just because I can be on it, like I was on the show. Yes, shout out to the fact that it was on Jeopardy.
Really?
Very subtle, Sean. Nice work, nicely done.
Dude, send us clips, man. I want to see this now.
It's true. It was, it was his profile picture for a while, I think.
Oh man, I'll check that out.
But at any rate, so there's some love for Rob Lowe in the chat, which I like, and some love for Anthony Michael Hall. Glad to see that as well. I think we kind of have the right idea with like them trying to get the show back and it's a pilot thing. I think all we need now is colorful villains, colorful like different, what kind of like one trick ponies can we pull out of our ass for these guys?
I know a lot of people are probably sick of him and like he's in everything, whatever like that. But The Rock would be an awesome villain.
Yeah, they'd probably want him to be Arnold's son.
They would be, he'd be the Running Man, honestly.
He could be, but like, he would be awesome as a villain too. He could be the new Captain Freedom.
I thought you were gonna say
The
Rock would be a great Captain Freedom.
They could have the same characters, just different guys playing them.
I think you can bring Captain Freedom back. I don't think you can bring the others back.
I thought you were gonna say Christoph Waltz.
Chris,
the villains need to be like the butcher man, the guy who's got a bunch of knives, or the fucking the fucking clown guy, or the whatever, like a one trick gimmick like wrestlers are, like what are those, like the Big Boss Man, there was the Bushwhackers, the Rockers, and I love all these things, by the way. And some WWF influence wouldn't hurt. But how do you do wrestlers?
WWE.
WWE. Oh, fuck that horse shit. No, I'm sorry. You're doing good work, World Wildlife Fund, but do you really have to go after the fucking wrestling company for their name, for their initials? I mean, Jesus Christ. You never saw a fucking MCA sue the Beastie Boys. Get down off your fucking high horse already. Rant over. Anyway. So I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank for the villains. Honestly, like the only thing I can think of is like the Butcher, the guy who slices and dices.
Here's the
But
problem.
it's just like this is like a less cool Sub-Zero, you know?
I mean, it's like you could have. I mean,
The
look,
Butcher.
you can do it. Yeah, well, you could do it anyway, right? You could do it where you have, specific people, or you can do the clay putties from Power Rangers. Like, does it really matter who the villains are as long as he's killing people?
Interesting.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
though. It does, because that's what you remember from the first one. So you want memorable villains this time.
Sure. I agree with you. It that
All the villains were basically named American Gladiators named their gladiators kind of like Running Man villains. Turbo.
I think there's a
Glacier.
Okay. Two things in the chat I like. One, requests for Michael Dudikoff to be in the film. Soul.
yes, thank you.
Two, I think there's a villain pitch. Alex Bonafonte and Angie Saunders are pitching, I think, a villain named Dark Odor. So he just farts and, I'm sold. You know what? I love a good fart joke. Yeah. I'm not about it.
Ian would be all about that.
The Gas Man.
The Gas Man.
Yes.
Like, what is this? Mystery Men again? Like
The Gas Man, yeah.
But
they're up against the Mystery Men, the Shoveler, the Fork.
Can I pitch a wild idea just because I can?
Okay.
All right. You get a great actor, right? Like an SNL, like I don't
That's
think
your
you would
pitch. You get a great actor.
Shut your dirty red shirted mouth. All right. Second. All right. Here's what Yes. Can I finish? All right. Think about if you okay, here's the thing. You couldn't get Mike Myers to do it, but if you got an actor with his set of skills, what if one actor is playing all of the what do you call them? Stalkers. What if one actor is playing all the stalk? You didn't even give it a chance.
Continue.
I'm just saying, like, I just watched the Pentaveret with Mike Myers where he plays like all the actors. And he's got like different makeup effects and stuff like that. There could be something interesting in.
It would be really cool to see
Eddie
Mike
Murphy.
Myers. It would be really cool
I
to
would
see
love
Mike
that.
Myers or someone like comedic just play a giant, hugely ripped, like physically impossibly ripped person, just like a meatball.
I think
muscles.
that was
hilarious.
That was one of my favorite parts with Bill and Ted Face the Music. Is when they're all the ripped jackets.
Ridiculous. Yeah. They could do. Kevin Yeager could do those suits and make it look.
That's what I'm saying. It could be very interesting to have actual celebrities do these little fun roles, almost unrecognizable, just for the sheer fun. I'm not saying do Glenn Close and Hook. Like, I'm not saying do that kind of approach, but
Colin
I
Farrell.
personally like it. If each one was, I'd like if each one was like Scott Adkins or the Michael J. White and Cynthia Rothrock.
Oh, Michael J. White.
That would be cool if it's just like some other martial artist on top of another on top of another. You're like,
cool.
What? Yeah,
that'd be
great.
Cool theme.
Sort of you gotta give him you gotta give him some kind of gadgetry, some kind of like
right, yeah. Right,
and
or some sort of crazy martial art weapon
too. But it's more about the acting than the fighting, and their presence and their acting can pull it off, and just like them being there is a huge service. But you don't need everyone to be kung fu kicking. I know they all can kick fucking ass, and I love watching it. But it'd be cool to let them just kind of lean into the acting, do the Drago thing, just the close-ups on the eyes and stuff like that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we're there pretty much. We're maybe a villain or two shy, and we're running out of time. But I mean, I think for the most part, the broad strokes are right on point. They're trying to bring back the show. You get the Richards family caught up in this, and kick-ass new Mega Man villains. You have a set that calls back to the old set, but does look like it's been a little bit,
Oh,
updated.
that'd be cool. No, have them on the old set. Like again, because they're like kidnapping this whole thing and like broadcast it. They're on the old set, so it's like a rundown Running Man old set.
Yeah, but I don't think they would do that if they were gonna have Arnold on the show, because then I mean he's got an unfair advantage. He knows the
Nah, that's true too.
It's that.
Yeah.
So they would probably want to like switch it up so that he doesn't
It
know
would
where
be-
to go.
It would be great if they framed his kid for something at the beginning of the movie as the opening scene, and then cut to
Yeah.
you find out later that they did all that just so they could get him on the show. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you'd ha-
yeah,
you-
that'd
and
that
then
would
use it
be
to pitch. Yeah, and use it to
that'd be
pitch
one
the
way
whole
to get him
fucking-
down there.
Yeah,
for
that'd
sure.
be really cool.
Was he a cop?
Ben Richards
Yeah.
was a cop.
He was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a military
So
police.
you-
It was like
so
very
you-
militarized police.
So
state,
you could
know?
have him. You could
Yeah.
have him as
Yeah, you're
like,
a cop, the
like,
butcher
yeah,
of Bakersfield.
he could still he could be like a captain or some high position of police chief, whatever you want to call it, and then his son gets framed or and
Well,
then-
now they have like a nationalized police force or something like that.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it would be you'd have to call it something different because in the future, like I don't think it's gonna be like cop.
All right, to hell with it. No Arnold. It's Kurt Russell, the Running Man in freaking Chicago. That's it.
Well, there is
during St. Patty's Day, they dyed the river green.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it. That's what it is.
Oh man, classic. Well, there is some more gold in the chat, like requesting that Jack Black play every villain. Also, Christopher Walken requested that he play a
Don't
villain.
you skip over that. Freaking, that's it right there. How cool would that be? All right. We made
Christopher
fun of
Walken?
Jack Black playing all the freaking stalkers. It's genius.
It'd be
Jack
a
Black is
comedy.
genius.
That's why it's funny. The freaking opera pig guy was comedy.
Opera pig guy.
Yeah,
Electro.
Electro.
If they had
Yeah.
put a pig nose on that thing, you would have bought it. Don't act like what I said was outrageous, Chris.
It makes sense now.
Yeah,
You
you
sold it there.
Like
Stuck the
a
landing
outfit.
eventually.
Covered in
Well,
light bright.
before we wrap things up, Dustin, is there anything going on at RetroFiend? Anything new drops or drops coming out soon?
we
You want to let
just-
the people know about?
Yeah, we just dropped an Invader for Mars documentary with Stephen Lambert and got
Which
some
is
cool behind the
awesome.
scenes
Oh, so good,
footage.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not super long. It's like probably 20 minutes or something. It's cool. It's a little short, little doc that we had from him. Yeah,
Mind-blowing.
just more.
Seriously, that doc is like maybe the most eye-opening one you guys have done yet. My jaw was on the
Oh.
floor the whole time.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Of course.
Yeah, we always got more stuff to come. We got some ninja stuff coming out, and we're just working on more canon stuff too, I think. So you'll slowly see stuff leaking out. Just check out the page and head on over. Appreciate all the love and support. You guys are awesome. So.
Hell yeah. Well, I am the biggest RetroFiend fan there is. Mickey, Ian,
Yeah.
you guys got anything coming up in the works? Let the people know about any
Nothing
film
coming up.
festivals, recordings, concerts, nothing.
Recording still. Yeah, we're gonna
Recording
be doing that
still.
Saturday.
All right, righteous. Well, we're gonna keep people updated just about every week on the latest Rick Barton line comings and goings on. You know what I mean. Anyway, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we set out in search of the perfect wave for our Summer School 2 episode. As always, if there's a particular movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover, on a future
No
episode,
Hawaiian shirts. None. There will be
Oh.
no Hawaiian shirts on that show.
first of all, you're all glad I gave you the Running Man apparel today. You all needed this.
That's right.
Second of all, the Hawaiian shirts will be back next Wednesday, as always.
Go to the mall with that tracksuit, you jerk.
I would go anywhere with this tracksuit if it got me the Running Man home game. Just saying.
We all wanted
Yeah.
that.
Anyway, if there's a particular movie or TV franchise that any of you guys want us to cover in the future, let us know in the comment section down below. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow RetroFiend Radio, Fandom Spotlite, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those laser discs, and we'll see you at the movies.